I remember the first time I saw a man agree to something he didn't understand. Not argue, not resist, just agree. They didn't want obedience, they wanted agreement, and that's worse. Pre-war America didn't collapse because of bombs. It collapsed because the people in charge stopped believing in persuasion. They believed in correction. The riots came first. Automation protests, robots replacing men. House stood in a bar and offered money for market research. When the man refused, he installed the future into the back of his skull. Remote in hand, dial, button. The man shot his friends. He tried to stop himself. I've seen the footage. There's a moment where his eyes fight the signal. House turns the dial. Higher. His head ruptures like a failed prototype. That wasn't rage. That was a product demo. Vault-Tec didn't flinch. They negotiated. Cold fusion for compliance architecture. Energy for control. That was the trade. They didn't want obedience. They wanted agreement. Years later, after the ash settled and we crawled out of the dirt, Hank MacLean didn't talk like a villain. He talked like a planner, measured, sincere. He said the world couldn't survive free will. He said violence was inefficient. He said peace needed engineering. I almost believed him. Vault 24 proved something terrible. You don't need guns if you can rewrite memory. Propaganda running on loops. Skeletons strapped to chairs. People made to repeat lines like they were prayer. One man kept saying the Mojave line over and over. Blood down his neck. Chip embedded at the base of his skull. Caravan rolling toward Shady Sands. He didn't know he was carrying the end of a city. That's the part that breaks you. He didn't know. They didn't want obedience. They wanted agreement. And agreement doesn't scream. Shady Sands wasn't bombed from the sky. It was delivered. Walked in by someone who believed he was doing his job. That's governance by erasure. Then came the refinement. The dial didn't just activate. It calibrated amnesia. Memory as a volume knob. Too much resistance? Turn it down. Too many doubts? Turn them off. The mainframe handled the writing. New ideas installed like firmware updates. Diane Welch's preserved brain wired in as temperament template. Gentle disposition as mass export. That's when I understood. They weren't trying to rule the wasteland. They were trying to edit it. Lucy saw them first. Surface workers moving in rhythm. No anger. No hesitation. No hesitation is unnatural out here. Out here, hesitation keeps you alive. Hank said he'd already sent R&D into the wild. Latest model, he called it. Miniaturized, stable. No more exploding prototypes, no more messy demos. Just compliance. Clean, quiet, permanent. And when cornered, when exposed, when his daughter forced him to answer, he did something colder than violence. He erased himself. Self-triggered wipe, memory gone, control maintained. Even in surrender, he controlled the narrative. Phase 2. Signal sent, intercepted by the Enclave. Because of course it was. They're always the quiet layer, thumb on the scale, watching, waiting. You think this is about evil. It isn't. It's about efficiency. About elites deciding that disagreement is a design flaw. They didn't want obedience. They wanted agreement. Agreement feels peaceful. Agreement feels civilized. Agreement doesn't burn cities. It just makes sure no one remembers who they were before they agreed. We've cataloged collars, we've cataloged FEV, we've cataloged brains in jars. This is different. This is the first time the experiment left the vaults. The surface is the experiment. And if Phase 2 carries what some believe it carries, if it merges neurological rewrite with biological mutation, then humanity won't just forget. It will evolve without consent. I've seen a man wake up with a scar behind his ear and ask me what his name was. Polite, calm, grateful. That's when you know it worked. The bombs ended the world, but this could perfect it. And perfection is the most dangerous idea ever built. They didn't want obedience. They wanted agreement. And agreement is easy when you don't remember disagreeing. Face Corp archive entry continues.
Archive node reconnecting. Face Corp terminal online.
Well, you made it to the end, Wastelander. And I want to thank you for walking this dusty road with me. These stories, they live because you keep listening, because you care, because the Wasteland still has folks like you out there. If you've got a topic you want me to dig into next, a vault, a faction, a legend, a cover-up, send it my way. Face Corp is always monitoring incoming requests. And hey, if you enjoyed this archive entry, press that like button. It keeps the terminal lights on. And if you want more stories from the ruins, go on and subscribe. Your support helps Face Corp recover and preserve every last fragment of our shattered world.
Loading next recommended archive file. File located. Displaying now.
It's right there on your screen. Go on. Open it. I'll meet you inside.